So the first match for the All Blacks of their Northern Hemisphere tour is just around the corner, going head-to-head with Japan, the first of 5 matches for the ABs at the end of the year. And in this preview, we're going to be looking through at the lineups, the previous fixtures between these two sides, and then also a prediction at the end for who we think will get the victory. But starting off first of all with the lineups, the All Blacks, they did announce their side on Tuesday, getting in nice and early to give them time to plan for England. But in the front row, it is Tamati Williams, Asafa Moa, and Pasilio Tosi. Now, a lot of the talk around this AB side has been about the pure size of these front three massive men to have in that front row. Pasilio Tosi, he hasn't really been given a lot of time in that AB's kit, but when he is given opportunities, he is normally extremely strong. So I expect the same thing here in this contest up against Japan, going head-to-head with Okabe in the front row. In the locking duo, it is Sam Derry alongside Patrick Tuipulotu. Now, no Scott Barrett meant we were going to see a new captain for the All Blacks, and Tuipulotu does get that honour for this contest. In the loose forward trio, it is Samapeni Finau, a man who hasn't really found his full potential when it comes to international rugby, but perhaps this type of game, stylistically, up against Japan may suit him very nicely. Sam Cane at number 7. He was actually that 7 the last time the ABs played Japan. And then number 8, Wallace Satiti. He is in his first year for the ABs and already looks like he's going to be a future star. In the backline, Cam Roigard. This will be his first start in international rugby since the Rugby World Cup last year. It's been a while, but he's been looking very good for Counties Manukau. He hasn't had a huge amount of game time, so this is the perfect opportunity to give him the start and see what he can do up against the Japanese. Number 10, Damian McKenzie. He is the type of player that up against Japan, I think he's going to have a very strong game. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but just from the way that he plays, I think the Japanese defense, it is extremely strong, but they do occasionally leave that gap, and that's the type of gap that McKenzie will try to snipe through. In the midfield combo, it is Anton Leonard-Brown and Billy Proctor. The last time that we saw this combo was up against the Fijians in the July internationals. Then Mark Dallaire out on the left wing, Sevu Reece out on the right, and then Stephen Perofeta as the number 15. Looking through at this Japanese starting lineup in the front row, it is Takato Okabe, like I mentioned, at number 1. Number 2, Atsushi Sakate. And then at number 3, they have got Takeuchi. He's going to have his hands full because he's going head-to-head with Tamati Williams. But Japan, their scrum is sometimes underestimated. So I don't know whether or not this game scrums are going to be as straightforward as they look on paper, because if you look through at what the two packs have in terms of that front row, the All Blacks should dominate. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not that is the case, or whether Japan can hold their own, because we've got to remember, in the game between the Japan XB and the Māori All Blacks, Japan's scrum was absolutely dominating that Māori All Blacks pack, and some of the players in the Māori All Blacks, you wouldn't have thought that that would be the case. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a very entertaining scrum battle between these two. Front rows in the locking duo, it is Wanga alongside Warner Dearns for the Japanese. In the loose forward trio, Amato Fakatava. Now, up until this year, he was normally in that locking duo, but Eddie Jones found a home for him at 6. He's been very strong, a hard ball runner, and I feel like he plays in the way that the All Black supporters want to see Samapeni Finau playing. It's just the fact that Fakatava is doing very well. And that number 6, number 7, Kazuki Himeno. A few people, of course, will remember that man from his time at the Highlanders for Super Rugby. And then at number 8, to close out the 4-pack for Japan, it is Faulua Makesi. So that is the Japanese 4-pack in the back line. At number 9, it is Shinobu Fujiwara. Number 10, Tatekawa. Now, something that I noticed straight away about this Japanese side is they don't have Seonson Lee. And I do think that's going to be a little bit of a concern for Japan here, mainly because he is a phenomenal talent. He kicks brilliantly. I think he only missed 1 kick throughout the Pacific Nations Cup, and he also has a really good attacking ability. So to not have him in the starting lineup could prove to be a big difference maker for Japan. In this game, out on the left wing, it is Malo Tuitama. In the midfield, I've gone with Nicholas McCurran and Dylan Riley, something that they did use throughout the Pacific Nations Cup. Number 14, Hone Naikabula. And then at number 15, Yoshitaka Yazaki is the fullbacks. Those are the starting lineups for these two sides. Of course, a lot of young, talented players hoping to secure their spots as the Northern Hemisphere tours do roll on. Japan still a couple more games up their sleeve. New Zealand the 4. So whoever plays well in these contests, we could then see get more opportunities down the line for their respective sides. But in terms of the history between Japan and New Zealand, they haven't played a huge amount of games up against each other. The last time, though, was 2022. And in that contest, we saw Japan almost pull off a massive upset. The end score 38 points to 31. New Zealand only getting the victory by 7. Now, the time before that, I believe New Zealand won by about 33 points, somewhere around there. But their last contest in particular, it is quite an interesting one because going into that contest, people underestimated Japan. And I feel like they're doing it a little bit again here. Now, there's a chance that New Zealand could come into this contest and win it by 30 points. There's also a chance that Japan make this one a really close game. And if they can get it right, imagine the scenes. If they can pull off the upset up against the All Blacks, it would certainly halt the momentum that the ABs are hoping to create as they head into their Northern Hemisphere tour. But looking through at the lineup that they had when they only beat Japan by 7, there were some fantastic players amongst that All Black side. In the front row, it was George Bauer, Taukei'aho, and Nepololala. The locking duo, they had Brodie Retallick out there on the field alongside Tupavai. The loose forward trio looks a little bit different, but Sam Cane was there, partnered with Shannon Frizzell and Hoskins Satutu. So the last time that they played up against Japan, they did have a few changes in that All Black side to try and give those young guys opportunities. But then at the same time, you can't afford to go too experimental, or else that's where Japan can really capitalise. But talking about the key players for these two sides for New Zealand, I think that Wallace Satiti has really proven throughout the Rugby Championship that not only is he a workhorse, which we already knew from his time at the Chiefs for Super Rugby Pacific, but he also has a rugby IQ a lot older than his age. Still extremely young, but he's playing brilliant rugby, and he seems to just be able to pick out situations and know how to dominate them. He's playing number 8 here. His preferred position, you have to wonder if he has a massive one here. Do we see any sort of reshuffle? Maybe Savia eventually gets that 7 jersey back just to warrant Satiti still being in that starting side. But I think if Samipeni Finau can't step up here, then Satiti will have that 6 jersey for the rest of November. In the backline, I think that Cam Roigard and Damian McKenzie combination needs to have a blinder, because if McKenzie can't step up here, Roigard, I hope, has a really strong game, and I do believe he'll have the ability to do so, but you've got Damian McKenzie, who has Beauden Barrett breathing down his neck currently, saying that he can play that 10 jersey if needed. So the question is, can McKenzie use that pressure as fuel and then have a great game here, as well as a couple throughout November as well? Billy Proctor, where has that man been, is the big question a lot of All Blacks fans have been asking themselves. Scott Robertson, he has been very reluctant to give Billy Proctor opportunities, but now he's got that chance. But I do hope it's not just going to be like it was up against Fiji, how he has a great game and then gets put on the sideline for the rest of 2024. He's got to get more minutes. Yes, Rico started to find his form near the end of the Rugby Championship, but back-to-back great games from Billy Proctor has to warrant giving him more time in the later matches. For the Japanese, I would say Fakatava. Like I mentioned, he has been extremely dominant in recent times for the Japanese. A physical ball runner, a hard-working individual when it comes to lineouts, as well as the breakdown, could be the game changer that the Japanese need here. Dylan Riley, the outside centre, he had a great Pacific Nations Cup, and I feel like he'll be able to continue that momentum here up against the All Blacks. He's got some great players around him. Tuitama out on one wing, Naika Bulla out on the other. I think Japan's backline, when it really starts to function, they have some of the smoothest passing that you will see in international rugby. So hopefully we get to see that up against the All Blacks here, and they can really step up to the occasion. But we're up to the stage of a prediction. Now, like I mentioned, there are two ways this game can go. Either the All Blacks win it comfortably, or Japan make it a gritty, grindy game, and they can get it to be close. I think that we're going to get more likely the first one, just because Japan, don't get me wrong, they've got a strong side here, but I don't think it's as strong as the last time they faced New Zealand. When we look through at their side there, they had Matsushima, they had Nakamura, Yamanaka at number 15, Michael Leach, Jack Cornelison, all those type of players were there last time, and they are all not here for this contest. So I am going to go New Zealand to win this game 45-15. But I do think that's a little bit harsh. And I do hope it's a lot closer. Japan can have a great game and give New Zealand a real challenge for the start of their 5 matches. But do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. We will also be doing the commentary on the channel at 6:50 PM New Zealand time is when this one is kicking off on Saturday. Should be an awesome match and a great way to get the international rugby season back underway for these sides. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.